This is the Muddy Boots Podcast, a podcast for those who have been or are stuck in the mud. Building a community of those who are with each other all the way. Well, welcome to the Muddy Boots Podcast. My name is Matt. I'm one of your hosts. This is Roger.
Hi.
Chaplain at the YMCA extraordinaire. And we have a guest today because we're here in Ridgefield and at the Ridgefield Library, in fact.
In the study room.
In the study room, which is conveniently located next to the bathroom.
So if you hear something, it wasn't me.
I've heard that
I had
before.
to say that.
Hey, so before we get into, actually, let me introduce our guest. And then we will, because I'd love to bring you into this conversation we're about to have before we get into the conversation that you'd like to have. So this is Jennifer Lawrence, not to be confused with Jennifer Lawrence. And she works at the YMCA, Regional Director of the Ridgefield.
I'm the Associate Executive Director for the Ridgefield Project. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. The way the YMCA does titles, it changes so.
Yeah, I was going to say, wait 3 months, it'll be something different.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what to call it.
I collect name badges.
Basically, you oversee what's happening here in Ridgefield when it pertains to the YMCA.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. That works very well. Speaking of titles, this is a good segue because we need to talk about what we're going to call ourselves in the new year. Yeah. Well, not ourselves, not the podcast, but what we're going to call our audience, our people, our community. Yeah. Okay. So we've had Muddy Buddies as the front runner for a long time. But we've had these other ones. There was a soul something.
Yeah. Soul Survivor.
No, it was I don't know. So that one wasn't a go. Yeah. We had Armor Bearers for a while.
We did.
There was a new one that I wanted to bring up today. Let me find it on my phone here. It's Mud Skippers. Now, before you make any assessment, I want to talk about what it means.
A mud skipper.
Do you know what it is?
I know what a mud skipper in the natural world is.
The fish?
Yes, that has lungs. Okay. And it can walk across roads.
So it's an amazing type of fish that are able to survive outside of water. They are known best for their resilience.
Ooh.
And for being able to survive in the harshest environments.
Now that's compelling.
Right?
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, we've got something to think about now. What are your thoughts?
I would lean more towards the Mud Skippers. Muddy Buddies makes me think of the snack.
The snack, right?
The snack.
Yeah, it makes me think of the snack too. I've liked that one for a long time, but the Mud Skippers thing.
Yeah, it's got a story behind it.
It's got a story behind it.
It's got a story behind it. Unless you know, you wouldn't know it.
And it's
why
kind
Mud
of cool,
Skippers?
right?
Yeah.
And we'd have to tell the story.
We have to tell the story.
Why do you call me a mud skipper? Why? Yeah. Because you're resilient.
Yeah.
Because you can do it.
That's right.
Okay. Well, we have a lot to think about.
We do?
We have a few other names. Well, so what we'll do is on our time off, so we're going to have this episode, one more episode in December, and then we'll be coming into the new year. When we come into the new year, we'll talk about what it is and we'll announce what it's going to be on that first episode of the first year.
That sounds like a plan.
Okay. Sounds good.
I like it.
So let's move into what we're going to talk about today, which is important. It's the why coming to Ridgefield.
Yeah, we're excited to be here. I've been working in the Ridgefield area for about 18 months now. And the cool thing was when I got this position, the first thing they said was go learn about Ridgefield, go meet the community, go meet as many people as you can and learn what the needs are. That's the why way. We have so many things that we can do, and we do a lot of things well, but we never want to come into a community and say, you need X, Y, and Z. We want to learn what is the needs, what are the needs. So I've gotten to spend a lot of time meeting cool people and learning about a community that's rich in history and tradition and values community, which marries up with the why very well. We value community. How can we be part of that? Where do we fit in?
Right, absolutely. Yeah. So with that, what's the you've obviously learned a lot about this community. What is something really interesting that you found? What have you connected with the most? Maybe one of those two things.
So a couple things. For me, I grew up in a small town too. So for me, that was a personal connection. There's a lot of things that feel familiar and similar in how they operate and how they run. And like the park down here, Abrams Park, I walk into that park and it's like I'm 10 years old at the park that I had in my town that I grew up in. So there's those kind of familiar small town things. Then I think getting to know people and the way small towns are as one person, you meet somebody and then they say, oh, you've also got to meet so-and-so and they're involved in this. And it's been invigorating. It's been exciting to meet people.
What's been cool is you were talking about Abrams Park. One of our volunteer chaplains, I think it was her grandfather, was it, that built the
Sounds
baseball
right. Yes.
diamond or something like that
Think
down
so.
there? Yeah, I mean, we have all this huge connection. Just all the tentacles that are. It's cool.
Yeah.
That is pretty cool. So you've been able to meet a lot of people here. So building relationships, getting the why sort of, I guess, throughout the community already.
Yeah.
So what are some of the things that have already started?
So we've been working on a lot of areas, couple of resonating themes that came up while we were having conversations of needs here. One was, of course, youth, which we do youth programs very well, and that's my forte. And excited to bring our summer camps here. Our after school programs have started. We're going to start a cool program called Youth in Government pretty soon in the middle school, and trying to hit those just areas of impact for youth. But the other one that came up was a stretch for me, was seniors and a need for a place or a community for them. And so I haven't done as much work in the senior community. And so learning a lot about how to approach that and how to ask questions again. So we have started a fitness class that's geared towards that age group, gentle, strength, and stretch, and they've already started to build their own community around it. We also are going to start a Y Talks community or Y Talks series and a cool program called Spice of Life, and it's based around it's very social and food, because when do we talk the most? Man. It's around food. So that's going to start in January. It is going to have a theme each time we do it and a host, and everybody just brings food. It's not like a potluck. It's a little different. So like the first one we're going to do in January is traditional Southern New Year's Eve.
Okay.
And the recipes are like handed out and people bring the food. And then there's just conversation. That's a good conversation starter, right? I've never tried this. I've never had Southern New Year's Eve dinner.
Yeah. I've never had Southern New Year's Eve.
I have not either, but the host,
I have no idea.
The person who is hosting it, was very familiar with that and wanted that to be her thing. So
it's really kind of cool. I've been to a few of them, like the ice cream socials,
Yeah.
and it's just fun to watch, you know, and how they're congealing, and they really needed a place to come together, and I think Jennifer's done a wonderful job of making that happen in this library.
Yeah. Well, I love that connection point too. That's huge. Like around food, like you said,
Yes.
that's when we talk the most.
Exactly.
So I'm interested now. I love
perfect.
Food.
It's not limited to an age group. So we'll get you the date and you can come up and have a Southern New Year's Eve.
Maybe we'll do a podcast from it.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
Wouldn't that be fun?
To have the New Year's stuff going on in the
Yeah,
back.
kind of like that guy with the spicy stuff. Yeah, that'd be.
What's the guy with the spicy stuff?
Oh, he with the hot sauce guy. He talks and has a
Oh,
conversation.
you mean like the hot ones, where they have that would be a good. See, that'd be good.
See, that would be fun.
Yeah, so we're having the conversation while we're eating food.
Yeah, can you make that happen?
Possibly.
Okay. Yeah, well, that would be cool. We could
I
do
agree
that.
that it would be cool.
And be sweaty and coughing and where's the water?
Well, this is I don't know that it's
I'm not
necessarily
saying
hot
that.
food.
I'm being funny. No. Yeah.
It's
No,
if we're gonna if it's a Taiwanese night, maybe it would be a little bit different. Might be a little bit on the spicier side.
Might be.
Although it is the spice of life.
Spice of life.
So
who knows?
just saying.
When's that start?
In January. I don't have a date yet.
Okay, that's fine. Just keep us updated.
I will,
Yeah, that'd
for
be
sure.
fun.
So I recognize
napkin.
that we rushed into this conversation. I'm going to rewind.
Okay.
So you talked about being from a small town.
Yeah.
That is what appealed to you about Ridgefield. So what is your story with the Y, or just your story in general? Like, what brought you to where you're at now?
That's a great question. So I've been with the YMCA of Columbia-Willamette for 11 years. Every job I've ever had has been with kids, except for one 6-week gig working at See's Candy, which is another story for another day. But I've always been involved in youth development. It's my passion. I see so much value in what we can invest in the next generation and how we can build that up to a place where we can have confidence in what the next generation looks like.
Sure.
So when I took the position with the YMCA of Columbia-Willamette, I was excited about working with kids again. And there's just been different opportunities throughout my career here to stretch myself, to learn something new, to learn what does it look like to make community for seniors. It's very similar to working with youth, providing opportunities and using our core values to impact people's lives. So it's taught me as much that, yes, the things that I've done with a 5-year-old are relevant at all ages.
Okay. That's
Probably because we're always a 5-year-old.
I'm sure there's some actual truth to that, but
Yeah.
yeah. So you talk a lot about the next generation, those types of things. So is there where does that passion come from, just for the next generation?
I find kids are invigorating and exciting. They're excited about things that we've forgotten to be excited about. So actually just find joy in little things, and that helps me reconnect myself to like, hey, I just totally missed that butterfly is really cool. I walked right by it.
Well, we were driving from the port to a meeting, and it's raining, right? It's horrible. What's that book The Horrible Nasty?
It's a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day.
Yeah, that one.
I love that book.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that's kind of how we were like, yeah, it is gross. And there's this little boy, and he's got a grin a mile wide on his face, and he's staring at a mud puddle, right? And it's like, and I was just going, oh my God. And you said
that he has joy. He's looking at that water with so much joy, and I'm looking at it with dread and disdain.
You know, I probably needed to hear this conversation more than I knew, because this time of year for me is the absolute worst. Like the rain incessantly
the darkness
coming down.
Yes.
Like never ceasing.
Yeah. But it's just fun. If you open your eyes, you look around a little bit, you get glimpses at it, right?
Yeah, it's true. Perspective.
And I think that's the kind of stuff that gets white people up in the morning.
Yeah, for
Right?
sure.
Yeah.
The day could be, ugh, but then you get that kid.
Right.
There's nothing more exciting than see a kid learn something new for the first time. We have camp where they build their Lego set and it goes together, and their enthusiasm is intoxicating. It just spreads to everyone.
Right.
You know, where we're just like in task mode, execution mode, and everything's got to get done.
So last summer,
Yeah.
we had a staffing issue, and it was at Abrams Park.
It was.
And Jennifer goes, Roger, you're going to go down there, and you're going to teach Invent It, Build It. And I'm like, all right. I have no idea what I'm doing, right? Yes, put on the smile. Let's go do this. Well, I get there. I got balloons. I got paper cups. I got bottle caps.
My staff call it the garbage camp because I
It's-
send them with a bunch of
Oh my
recyclables
God.
and
We started making balloon cars, and so we had balloon car races,
Yeah.
and then we got bored with that, and so then we decided who can make their balloon go the farthest when they blow it up, and then the highest,
Yeah.
and then we ended up blowing the balloons up, right?
Perfect.
Okay, so then I had time left. This went way too fast, and so I've got string and I've got a wire. So we're going to learn about friction.
Okay.
Right. We made the little thing, and which one goes faster, and everything else. And we did that whole thing, and now I'm getting into it.
Yeah.
I'm starting to geek, and we decide over our snack time that we're going to build an airplane. It's going to hook to to the wire, and we're going to drop it down the wire, and it's going to take off and fly outside of the building. And the funny part about it was she found us another staff to show up right as we're, and I was all excited about this, you know. But I'm like, yeah, this is going to be cool.
And then you were relieved of duty.
Yeah,
Yes.
and I tell him, and he looks at me and goes, I don't know how to do that. And I go, well, neither do I, but they do.
That's why it's invented build it.
How did
They
it
got
go?
to test it. They didn't really get it to fly out the
Okay,
building,
all
but
right.
they did get it to go down the wire, and
That's pretty cool.
yeah,
And they enjoyed their day.
they did. They were excited about the challenge of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I woke up today and my son was headed off to school, and I was I had a little $10 bill, and I turned it into a paper airplane, and I was at the top of the stairs, and I threw it down to him.
Did go.
That's inventive, right?
That is.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
We could use him next summer.
There you go. I'll call you when I need a sub next
it didn't
summer.
fly very well, but it went. Yeah, it went.
Yeah,
It went.
Yeah, those are the fun things. And Glee Camp.
Glee camp is
That
good.
was
Yeah. So we did
We did-
Masked Singer Glee Camp this year. So they got to create their persona and their costume and
Nice.
do their performance at the end of the week for their parents.
So I'm assuming all this excitement with kids helped, I guess, form this thing in you that would say yes to doing this adventure in Richfield, right?
Yeah, for sure. I wanted to, when the opportunity was presented to me, I really thought about it a lot. Maybe not enough. No, just kidding. And I wanted to take the opportunity to be able to replicate what we've been doing in Vancouver at the Clark Y in another community. That opportunity really is exciting. And I know this community, when I was thinking about it, did some investigating, came up here and kind of secret shopped the town, and know that they're excited about having the opportunity. They're excited about the Y being here. There is so much energy and enthusiasm about the building, but the programs that we're being able to offer as well in the meantime. The seniors have been in a place where they used to have a little bit of a space to gather, and that was kind of removed from their opportunity. And so they're, experiencing isolation. And again, it's kind of a no-brainer coming out of COVID that people are in isolation. How do we bring people back together? Common theme, yes.
Yeah. And so that really ties into the Why Without Walls we've been talking about, because there's no building here yet.
Right.
And that's still in formation. And so even though you get asked about that, I'm sure more than you would
A few times a day, yeah.
As far as when that building is going to be done, the good thing is that the Y is already in Ridgefield, right?
That's right. That's what
basically,
we say. We're already here.
Yeah. And that hasn't been a reality up to maybe, a year ago or a year and a half.
Right. About a year and a half ago, we started bringing programs up.
Yeah. Safety around water, using pools in the area. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's just thinking outside the box a bit.
And the Y's had a presence at all of the different events that Ridgefield already does, right?
Yeah, they do a lot of community events, and we brought some of our own community events up.
Okay.
So we did our first Healthy Kids Day up here. So that's a YUSA national event that everybody holds a Healthy Kids Day on the same day in April. And again, the library was a great host that we did Healthy Kids Day here and at Davis Park for the first time in Ridgefield. And then in conjunction with Hometown Day here in Ridgefield, we brought our Breakfast with Santa event.
How many showed up to that?
322.
Wow.
Wow.
It was a great morning.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
awesome.
that's impressive. And then we have another one coming up.
Well, we just did ours
Oh,
in
oh,
Ridgefield.
oh, Ridgefield.
We did our
Yeah.
Ridgefield one, and then Clark's will be this weekend.
Right.
Was there one? So this was the second.
This was the second annual breakfast with YMCA breakfast.
So what
with
was
Santa.
what was in the first year? How many?
First year we were about 180, so
Okay,
we
so
almost doubled, I think.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah. And this year we had to cut registration. We could have had it bigger, but there's no more space.
So the need is, people
yeah.
really desire for the Y and the programs to be
Well,
here.
and how about when we were in the parade? That was crazy.
The parade was crazy.
Okay, we
Were you waving?
No, he was trying not to hit kids.
Oh. It was
He was
literally
driving.
I don't know how many times we went back to the store to buy more candy because throughout the week, our big thing is the Y doesn't run out of candy, right? And we'd never done a parade like this.
Right.
This puts Macy's to
So
shame.
many people.
I mean,
Dang.
I'm driving this bus and I'm like, I've got spotters because it's so tight. And my big
It's
thing-
just packed.
Packed
Like they're
in.
7 to 8 people thick on
Thick.
each side.
It's nuts. I've never seen anything like it. And we'll do it again next year.
And we did run out of candy this
We
year.
ran out
That-
of
But we will not
No, because-
coming up. Now we know.
Right. Now you know.
Now we know.
Yeah, that's right.
That's insane to me. So this
Oh, it was.
this podcast will come out after both Breakfast with Santas.
Yes.
So Clark will have an amazing one as well.
Oh yeah, I mean, when I showed up to the Ridgefield one, and I know it's going to be the same. Remember when we used to do the harvest parties, and they went all of a sudden they exploded to 1,200
Yeah.
people?
Yeah.
This is that. It's gonna go there.
Yeah.
You just watch it, and it's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. Was there a harvest party up here as well?
We did not do a harvest party this year.
I didn't think so. Do you think that that'll be something, and probably not till building?
So going back to the theme of not bringing things that are already here,
Oh.
it's my understanding that there is the PTA at Union Ridge does an amazing harvest party,
Okay.
which would have been right around the time we would normally do one. So rather than duplicating services, we're looking for holes in the.
Yeah.
Yeah, find a niche and fill it. It's that whole thing, she talked about it earlier, of self-righteous services here, and this is what I think you need, so this is what I'll provide, and we kind of laugh and say, that's how homeless people end up with Kraft macaroni and cheese and a
Right.
can of soup that they can't cook, or they don't have milk for them, you know.
Right.
And ours is true services, we don't know what you need. Tell us. We don't even know if we can provide it, but we'll try. And we've done a good job in Ridgefield to provide with the active older adults and the seniors and all the different events. They're being done because they asked us to do them.
Right. And I think that's an amazing testament to the why that maybe people don't fully even know that there's a lot of research, like not just research, like looking through books and numbers and things like that, but like personal. You're meeting people.
Investment in time and
Yeah.
relationships.
Right. And so that's a huge part of why I believe the why is successful wherever it goes, because it fills the need of the community. So it's a great
That's
thing.
what we hope to do.
Yeah. It's a great thing. So what are you excited about in the coming, I guess, year?
I am excited. I am excited about the programs that we're starting, the Spice of Life and Youth in Government. I am also excited to see what the next steps are in the building project,
Yeah.
to see where we go and how quickly we can get it done. So,
Yeah. So where does it stand now? I guess we can talk a little bit about that. And then, what are the next steps? What are we looking forward
Sure.
to?
So I keep telling people it's like we've had like a 3-prong attack going into this project. One is building design. 2 is fundraising and procurement of funds. And then 3 is the programming. I feel like programming is moving forward really quickly and fast, and we can do a lot more than we even imagined, really, without the building, right? How do you be a place of belonging if you don't have the place? Well, we can do that, and we're proving that.
Yeah.
The design on the building, we had a great building designed, amazing. I think there's this little thing out there called inflation right now.
Oh, really? I haven't heard of it.
Well, our project went from 20 million to 33 million. It's a little jump. So we have to literally go back to the drawing board and say, what can be done now? What can we afford to do? We've done the work on a feasibility study of what can be raised in the community, what can be done with wisdom, so that we have a sustainable building for the community,
Right.
and done well. And then what maybe have to be like a phase 2. And so we're kind of really working on that right now. What is the reality of what can build right away? What can be a phase 2? And how do we make that a great space in the meantime?
Okay.
And then when we have that, we're looking at about a $20 million project. That's what the feasibility said that we can do between fundraising and financing and be on good stand. Then we will launch that capital campaign with a goal of at least $10 million.
Gotcha.
So the why is investing in this community and ready to invest with our own finance dollars,
Yeah.
but we also need the community to invest. The Y is traditionally funded by the community. And so we really need the community to come alongside, be part of this process to get the building here. And the quicker we can do that, the quicker we can have the pools.
Yeah. And the thing about it is I always tell everybody that the Y is the best community center you can ever have. Community centers run by cities are a drainer. They're a drain on the resources. They tax people to get it done. They do bonds. People that don't even use a facility are paying for it. This is our bailiwick. This is what we do really, really well. Better than anybody anywhere. We just need some help to get in. And then the city doesn't have to worry about it anymore.
Yeah.
Right? The people will handle it. We just need a little help coming in. And, what do you call me? I forget. I'm the VP of what?
I don't know.
Everything you said?
Probably everything.
I've heard you call him the VP of everything YMCA.
There's a lot of things I've called you on and off the podcast.
Yeah, off the podcast, we're not going to talk about that.
So that's why I was curious.
But so I've got another new title. Yeah.
Is this when did this happen?
I don't know.
Maybe a couple. Okay, let's hear it.
I'm the VP of Community Development and Major Gifts, along with I'm still the association chaplain. But we have all of our volunteer chaplains and everything else that are handling a lot of stuff. And so I'll do the trauma work and all of that kind of stuff. But it's literally going into communities that don't have a Y, and like what Jennifer said, you secret shop, you meet people, you see if there's a need, and then we go from there. And the first task that they gave me was to come up here and help get this thing launched, so that we can then move forward and get this done.
Okay.
And then move on to the next one and the next one and the next one.
Can you, just for the sake of my own enjoyment, can you
sure
just list out for me all of the positions that you hold at the YMCA currently, off air? You don't have to do it right now, because I'd like to do something with it once you have told me this.
I'm nervous. I really am nervous.
You'll see.
I love you.
You'll see it right now.
I don't trust you.
You'll see it right now when you're watching the video.
Yeah.
But you won't know what's coming right now, because we're not in the future
I feel like
yet.
that squirrel with the owl, and I'm the squirrel racing around the tree.
You should feel like that, very much like that. I think it will make you feel equal parts good and overwhelmed at the same time.
Oh, well. Help. It's all good. It's all good.
No, I mean, I think I love that approach. We've already talked about that, though. Love that approach of going into the community that needs it and finding out what they need.
Yeah.
And then being that answer.
I like that because as a chaplain, that's what I was doing I was that person running around going, we don't need a building. Why without walls? Give me a bus, right? I was the one that said, let's not make people cross a food desert to get to an oasis. Let's take the oasis to them. Right? Safety around water, same thing. All of this stuff is the same thing. And Jennifer's doing a real good job of doing that right here in Ridgefield. Partnering with people that have space and running with that, while at the same time we're raising funds to build this building. I mean, you said it started. I can remember. I think the first thing I saw was, then the building's going to cost $16 million.
Yeah.
And then it went to 20.
Then it jumped.
30, 33. I was like, it was so. Yeah. I mean, I literally would like to put the full boat in here right off the bat. That's my BHAG. I'll say it right here.
Sure.
And we'll look for that. But if not, we'll ratchet back to get whatever we need to have here.
Yeah.
And we'll build from there.
Absolutely. The reason that philosophy, though, I think hits a chord in me is you think about when we talk about helping people.
Yeah.
And this whole thing, the Muddy Boots podcast, right, is about helping people who feel stuck.
Yeah.
And I think as human beings, sometimes we expect people to pull themselves out of the mud, right?
Well, you pull you up on by your own bootstraps.
Yeah, by your own bootstraps.
Yeah.
And
Individualism. Yeah.
yeah, how am I supposed to get out of the mud if I'm stuck? I need somebody to come to me and help me get out of my situation, rather than telling me what I'm supposed to do from afar, or making somebody cross a desert to get to you.
Shore.
Yeah, there's no way.
Right.
And so I think that speaks to really the heart behind the YMCA, and the idea that we're meeting people where they're at, and that's what we should do as people anyway.
Right.
So I love it.
Yeah. No, it's
Thanks for doing what you do.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Anything else that you'd like to ask or add, Roger, to this conversation?
I mean, I'm just glad that we're in Ridgefield and we get to do. I mean, it was a hot day. What day? It was 100 degrees. And
Wasn't today.
I know what day he's talking about, though.
And it was a melting day.
We had 2 events on that day. We did Ridgefield Main Street Day, and then we went and did Safety Around Water.
That's right.
Out of Cerro. It was a long, hot day.
Yeah.
It was. What was the book's name again?
A terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day.
Yeah. And we're on Main Street, and we're doing the popcorn and the ices and all things right there, and we're at the end, and I'm peopled out. You know, I mean, I can do this for a while, and then I got to go sit.
Understood.
Yeah. And otherwise, you get crabby chappy. I'm starting to get crabby. And this woman in this hat is walking. She's walking down the street, and all of a sudden she stops and she goes, "The YMCA. Oh, I love the YMCA." And I go, "Well, you do?" And she goes, "Yeah." And I said, "Why?" She goes, "Well, about 10 years ago, I literally walked from Ridgefield to Vancouver, walked into a YMCA to get away from my abusive husband, and I talked with this guy. I can't remember who he is, but I talked, and he got me help. He got me into the YWCA where I could get housing. He helped me get free attorneys so I could get, and now my life is so changed that I spend my time helping other women that are suffering from domestic abuse get out." And I sent them to this guy. And I couldn't figure out for the longest time why I'm with the YWCA right there, and their mission is domestic abuse, why I'm getting all these calls. And I looked at her and I go, "I was that guy." And she was like, it was the light in her face. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it was cool. And she just gave me the biggest hug and was like, it was nuts. You know, it's not very often you get to see what God's been doing, right? And you see you're helping people, you're doing things, you're doing all this. And every so often you get to see the other side. And for me, that'll get you up.
Oh, for sure.
You know, you can. It's kind of like going golfing, and you hate golfing, and it's 17 holes of misery, and then you get that one good shot on the 8, and he brings you back again. Right?
That doesn't happen to me, but okay, yeah, I understand.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't have to be a great shot. It's just a better shot.
We can say basketball that happens sometimes, where I'll be missing my shots all the whole time, and then I'm just saying it never happens with golf. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, but that's where, you know, and that's the beauty of what's.
Yeah,
and that's Ridgefield. We were doing that in Ridgefield,
right?
And we'll be doing that over and over and over again. I know, because we do it in Clark over and over and over again.
Amazing.
Yeah,
and that goes back to why I wanted to be involved, is bring the power that is the why of community to Ridgefield.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, anything else you'd like to say before we sign off?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay.
So, how do you like getting filmed?
Can you at least appreciate the difference between a podcast?
It is much better than saying something straight to the camera,
right?
Practiced and rehearsed, and
See?
Yeah.
See? I told you
it's
that,
easier.
and
I still think you got a
believe
lot of editing to do.
Zero editing.
There's pretty much zero. That's how it rolls.
Yeah, this if you think there's going to be editing in this one,
I was told there was editing ahead of time.
I don't know if that person was being completely honest with you.
Oh my goodness.
The podcast format doesn't really lend itself to much editing.
No, they'll hear the toilet.
Yeah, they'll hear the toilet. Yeah.
And that's just how it works.
Maybe.
That's a genius.
These are pretty directional though, so they may not may not hear the flushing toilet in the background.
Oh,
But
that's
the,
too
or the
bad.
kids crying in the
The
library.
screaming kid was good.
The
Yeah,
screaming
kid was good.
Yeah.
I was watching Matt's eyes.
I think it's the beauty of filming in the public library though.
Oh, I love it.
Is we're gonna get those things. So
I know.
For sure.
I know.
So-
yeah, no, it's cool.
we should do one up here in another. If there's other places in Richfield, I think that would be cool to visit throughout the year next year.
We most
Sounds good.
certainly could.
Yeah.
I don't know what those places are, but
Well, summer we could do one at Abrams Park.
I hear that there's really good food in Richfield though.
There's some good food here.
There's a barbecue place here that is to die.
You
for.
want to wait till it's not pouring down rain for that though, because it's a food.
You mean
court.
for life in general in the Northwest, or
Maybe.
are we just talking specifically for the barbecue
just
place?
for the barbecue?
Okay.
And there's a good Taco Tuesday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, with that, come and visit Ridgefield at some point in your journey. If you're not from Ridgefield, if you're watching from Ridgefield, we're excited to be coming into your neck of the woods, and that we've
And
been
if we
here.
haven't met you, come say hi.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
We'd love to hear some stories of people who are here in the Richfield area. Think we're slated with a guest on our next podcast.
Mary Kay.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that'll be cool, and more to come. Again, we'd love to hear your comments and all those types of things when it comes to the name, because we're making that choice here in the next couple weeks. If you have a story, a YMCA story, I know there's a few of you that have commented there. Something that's just the way the Y has changed your life or impacted you in some way. I think those are great stories to tell. So we'd love to hear from you. Other than that, we love you and we'll see you next time.
Yeah. What is it? Merry Christmas.
Yeah. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.